Hi, everybody. It's Tuesday, February 18th. I almost said 19th, 18th. You're here at the weekly Chaos Community Call. I am Elizabeth, Chaos Community Manager. It's really great to see everybody here. Glad to have you here. Oh, thanks, Sean.
From
Yeah, so if you have not answered the question of the day, which is where is your favorite place to work, and you want to do that, feel free to let us know. We have some awesome, awesome answers to that. Particularly Belize, I think it's the favorite. It's like who wouldn't want to work there? So, yeah, if you are new here, I don't know that anybody is new that's on this call, but if you are, just keep in mind that this is part of the Chaos Code of Conduct. So we appreciate your attentiveness to that as you interact with us during this meeting. Don't have to have your cameras on. Happy to leave them off. Raise your hand. However you want to interact, whatever makes you comfortable, it makes us comfortable too. So, sorry, I'm still fighting a cold. My voice is kind of shot, so we're gonna power through. We'll do the best we can. So, first one on the agenda is just want to let everybody know education is now officially on the website. Hooray, hooray, hooray. We have a landing project, or a landing project, a landing page. So, if you see anything that could be better on this page, we are more than happy to have PRs submitted. There is a link in the minutes of where you would do that. So, if you want to add anything, change anything, think anything could be clearer or better, super happy to incorporate those changes. We are working on a blog post. Peculiar has it all written, it's ready to go. We're just nailing down the final image that will be the featured image, and then it's going to be ready to go. So you could probably look for that for today. And that will have detailed instructions about how to get access to those courses and all about the project, where it came from, why we're doing it. All of that good stuff will be in the blog post. And then we'll link that to from the landing page as well. So yeah, Sean, you got your hand up.
there's just a piece of back-end housekeeping. When I went to make sure that our subscription on Moodle was up to date, I wasn't able to log in using the username and password that I'd saved, and that username and password was the admin one. So if someone else has a username and password where they can get in and just check on mine, the email or the account should be obvious. I just want to make sure we continue to pay for Moodle, and I was the person that charged it to my card, and I think we're coming up on the anniversary of that. So I don't know who should I message about that. Sorry to use the community meeting for this. Just
Oh,
popped
it's
in.
fine. No, totally fine. I think probably Peculiar can help you with that.
Okay.
Because I think Peculiar, you have all of the admin. If you need a secondhand person, I'm happy to also jump in, but Peculiar's probably your person, I would think.
Okay. I will reach out to Peculiar on the Slacks.
Awesome. Before we go into the next education related conversation, does anybody have any questions or comments, anything about the page or the blog post, anything about that? Okay, so at the last DEI working group meeting, Peculiar brought up that she had gotten some questions from other projects about including their videos as well in our body of work. So Peculiar, I'm going to let you share what was told to you and what the questions actually are. We decided in that meeting we would bring it to the larger community because it seems like more of a community conversation than just in the DEI working group. So Peculiar, I'll let you give a little bit more context about that.
All right. Thank you, Elizabeth. Hi, everybody. The first question was during the kiosk someone asked if the education project was just only for kiosks, other communities, education, or does other communities stuff are included in it. So we explained to some extent, but then I want to bring it, I brought it up to the meeting for more input. Then the next one was someone trying to find out at the end of the course, is it possible if he sent some people, maybe newcomers, contributors from his community to learn from the education project. At the end of the day, he was trying to find out how can he assess and know that they completed the course. Then he was like asking if we have certificate that will give of completion that they will receive at the end of the maybe completing a category of course or each course. So these were two of them. So I brought it to ask for input of what the community think about that. Should we add other communities videos or material or stock to education projects? That's one. Even though we have general open source topics there, then the next one is how do we feel about certificate of completion? At the end of, maybe we can make it a category, or maybe the general, not CHAOSS topics specific, maybe the general open source topic like Welcome to Open Source 101. What do we think about that? So I'll leave it for the input.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt you, Peculiar. I was Sean, if his hand was still up from before, or is this a new?
I'm sorry, it was still up from before, and when I'm sharing my screen, I can't see how to put it down. Wait a minute, now I see how to put it down. I found it. Sorry, there was no intentionality there.
So Georg puts in chat, how will we ensure that they are maintained and updated? That is the $1,000,000 question, Georg.
I mean, do you mean for like if we add topics, non-CHAOSS topics, right? Okay, that's a big question. I don't really have answer. It's a food for thought.
My feeling is that would be, if we decided to open it to other projects, we would have to have some boundaries. So that would be part of the boundaries, is that we can host this video here under our collection, but that they would be responsible for keeping it updated, keeping it maintained. Sort of review every so often, yearly or whatever, 6 months, whatever it is. That's kind of part of the deal. Like if we are to let you post an intro video about your project in our collection, then that's kind of what we would ask in return, I think is fair.
But is it something we want to do in general? Because it seems like, I mean, we're sort of resource constrained as it is, and it feels like there are loads of places where people can post training videos and host training videos. Like, do we want to be the place where people do that?
I would also be concerned about how we decide what we accept and what we don't accept, and kind of how we moderate that content on our page or on our in our sites. So
I raised my hand again deliberately this time. Have we, this is an odd question, but it sort of fits Dawn and Kevin's in sequence. Are we thinking about what we want our brand to be around the training? In other words, I can see offering a wide range of topics, and if we maintain a level of quality or some specific characteristics, then any content that's of that quality that people want to develop, sure. But how do we, I guess, how are we thinking about managing content quality, or are we just focused on right now just getting some content up there?
Okay, our focus here for the CHAOSS education should be on like having real quality content. Like I saw another question over there on the chat session that's talking about the value we offer. Now, if you look at other platform, other open source, like other platform, the angle we are coming from is not actually the way they're coming, because we are just like we have more beginner friendly topic for newcomers to introduce them to open source. And the video or the content we are giving out is not much. So there's some talks, or there's some a platform where you can have like a lengthy video where someone need to sit down for a long time to like consume all the content. But these ones, the topics we have, they're short, within 5 to 10 minutes. It could give you an overview of what you're actually looking for, like straightforward information. So that's actually where we're coming from, is more beginner friendly courses, giving direction and for newcomers and all. So that's actually what we're trying to offer here. So, and in as much as we're doing that, we also want to make that to be quality. What others will want to like come back to look, to go through, and then have some sort of information they need and navigating through open source and some open source community.
That makes sense to me.
Kevin, you also had your hand up.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought, but based on what was just said, I guess I would comment that as far as CHAOSS is concerned, I don't think we need a lot of content. I think our focus should be on quality of the content that we have. So if we're worried about our lack of content or not having enough content, I guess that's not something I would worry about. I would just focus on, let's make sure that the content that we create is of high quality. And if as far as external members go, maybe the easiest way to handle that is to invite them into the community to create content with us and for us, rather than creating it externally and then having us point to it.
Okay, I got that point. Like, if any of them, anybody from other community want to like contribute to it, we invite them to the community to join, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, great.
So it sounds like we're leaning toward not really including external content, but if it's CHAOSS related or if it's open source related, then to include it. Is that kind of where we're landing? I will just say there has been, just as a counterpoint, there has been efforts made to try to collaborate more with other open source projects. So in that regard, giving a platform or giving an opportunity for an open source project that isn't related to CHAOSS, but that is like another open source project, give them an opportunity to put together a 5-minute video on their project and what benefits they have, how people can get involved, how people can contribute, was interesting to me in that it builds our ties with other communities. And I personally like that, even though it seems a little bit counterintuitive that this should be only CHAOSS. But to me, that was an interesting way to just build ties with other open source projects and other open source communities. and it gives our open source beginners other experience and context around other places that they could contribute. So I was just going to throw that out there. I don't have strong feelings either way. Honestly, I don't. Whatever the community wants to do is completely, totally fine with me. I just thought I would throw that out there as a means to collaborate, and the fact that they came to us to build it on our platform seemed like it would bring more people to CHAOSS, to us. So I thought that was also cool. But just want to throw that out there. Again, I don't have strong feelings either way.
I think you raised a really good point that, one of, I guess part of what CHAOSS is already is a welcoming open source community, and the world is not chock full of those. So, continuing to draw people here, I think is a good thing, especially if yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing. So is the question whether or not we should do that, or, because I mean, I'm kind of, right now it's early enough. I'm okay with, let's just see where it goes and try to have the impact that the folks running the education program want to have. And the support, and see what kind of support we're able to provide, or community goodness vibes. I don't know.
I mean, we had similar conversations with badging, right? Like, because originally badging was only for open source projects. And so we had similar conversations of, do we include other tech related conferences in our badging? And so it's a good problem to have, that people want to associate themselves with us and go through our programs and be a part of things here, I think. So just throwing that out there, is it's like not just about education, but it's badging, it's other things, CHAOSS Cast, to Georg's point as well. So
I'm certainly not opposed to collaboration. I guess I don't understand the scope that we're talking about here. So it just, I don't know that it just kind of seems like the scope has become undefined, right? So I'm not exactly sure what we're agreeing to do if inviting external collaborators in, right?
I mean, yeah. And I think with that ambiguity, as a community, we have a choice about how, what we do. And if there's people passionate about the education program, and, they have a desire to pursue it this way, if that includes outside collaborations, I think that would something I would be inclined to encourage personally, to try to not get in the way of what sounds like a very enthusiastic effort, frankly. I don't know if that's different than what you're really saying, Kevin.
I think I've lost track of what the request is. So throughout the conversation. So I'm not exactly sure what we're talking about anymore.
so I think the original request, and Peculiar, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the original request was, can we allow, or we had another open source project that wanted to include one of their videos on our platform. So like a 5-minute introduction to their project. Here's what our project is about. I think that's what the original request was. So our then decision is, do we include that? Is that related to what we're doing? How does that relate to what we're doing? Is that right, Peculiar?
It was just a question they asked. Is our open source project, I mean, education project, including other communities or just for our community? So something like what you say. Do you now understand what we're discussing about? Okay.
Okay, so it seems like general consensus is to discourage that kind of a collaboration, but maybe if they wanted to do a joint video or something where they're incorporating something about chaos, might be better served for our community. To Georg's point about how they're using chaos metrics or what they feel about project health, something like that might be a better way to introduce another open source project to our community, I think. Does that seem reasonable? Is that what kind of we're landing on? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move on because we do have other stuff to talk
Yeah.
about. This has been a great conversation. Thank you, everybody, for your input. Super helpful, I'm sure, to Peculiar and the education team, just to get a feel for how the community feels. And then it doesn't look like we had anybody pushing back on providing a certificate or a badge to show some completion. So I think that that would be fine, right? Does anybody have any thoughts against that? I mean, it doesn't prove your, you know, your skills, but definitely shows that you completed. It's like there's no test or anything like that, but a certificate of completion is certainly, yeah, okay, looks like everybody's behind that, so yeah, we'll just kind of move forward with that. Is that okay, Peculiar? Anything else you wanted to ask the community about for education before we go on?
No, I'm okay now. Nothing.
Awesome, okay. Next thing on the agenda is that we are gonna be merging the meetings for metrics development and community, I'm sorry, not community, the metrics development and the metrics models. Sorry, I clicked somewhere. So not the repos, not the Slack channel and none of that, just the meetings itself, because there was a lot of overlap. And right now, those are going to happen at 10 a.m. US Central, which was the original time for the metrics models meeting. So that conversation is ongoing. I think that's where we landed. If you have questions, input, comments about that, I think it's happening in Slack right now. So jump in there if you want to be a part of that conversation. In the metrics development channel, I think, is where that's happening specifically. Okay, the next one is that we are gonna have a booth at Scale. If people are gonna be there and you wanna be part of that experience, I'm more than happy to share that with you, share that experience with others. I don't need to be the one to do it the whole time, but I'm happy to do that as well. So just throwing that out there, if you are gonna be at Scale, even if you wanna just stash your stuff, we'll have a booth. So you can stash your stuff behind the booth. Okay, next one is that, yeah, it's that time of year. I hate to sound so cranky about it. Oh, good, Georg, you'll be there too, awesome. Yeah, daylight saving is, yeah. So it's coming. The calendar's going to be messed up for a few weeks for some of you. Yeah. So my message to you all is just keep checking the calendar. We might have some overlap. I don't know, because some meetings are tied to West Africa time or India Standard Time, and so those meetings will not change at all. But the ones that are tied to US Central, which is a lot of the others, will be changing. So yeah, just be patient. If there are conflicts that come up after this March 9th due date or date of change, yeah, we'll sort it out. We have a way to do that now, where we can have more than one meeting going on at a time. We just need to sort out the links that people use. So yeah. I just want to let you know it's happening. Nothing we can do about it except for get through it. So does anybody have any questions or comments on that? You should hug every community manager that you know during that time because it's the hardest thing to wrangle. Make sure people know when meetings are, and yeah, so. Okay, the next one on our list is that there is a very nice wrap up about CHAOSScon EU. If you haven't read that, it was posted in general channel. Thank you, Peculiar, for finding that and sharing that. But yeah, it's a really nice write up and summary of the day. So if you want to read that, you can. Next one on our list is that, just a reminder, we did get a date for CHAOSScon North America. Registrations to OSSNA is required because this is a co-located event. And the website is up and running. It's kind of bare bones right now, but it is up there, so people can start registering if they want. If you are on the committee and you want to add your name, that's where you do that. We haven't really sorted much out yet as far as schedule goes, speakers or anything like that. But the website's up for what it is. So people can start saving the date for that. CHAOSScon committee, I don't know if you want to meet today to talk about anything or if we're good for now. Like, we have time to sort
feel
out
like-
schedule.
I feel like there was a question that needed to be answered collectively, but it may have been answered. And this is only a vague recollection.
Yeah, I don't know.
If nobody else
Is it-
recalls such a question, then I would say we don't need to meet, but
Okay. Well, we have time to sort out schedule and stuff. So if you want to be on that committee and you're not in the CHAOSScon committee Slack channel, let me know and I'll be happy to add you. We love any help planning that you want to give us. So that'd be great.
I would imagine shortly we'll start thinking about Open Source Summit North America, CHAOSScon, but not yet. Is
Yeah.
that fair? Okay.
The last one on our list is just to let everybody know that the All Things Open conference did open their CFP, and that is open until March 28th, I think, 26th or 28th. I might have put that in wrong. So yeah, it's a great conference. If you've never attended, it's a really very, very well run, awesome conference. We love it. So yeah, submit if you would like. That's the link there for you. You can see what kind of topics they're looking for, what kind of, different formats you can submit, from 15 minutes to like a full workshop, I think. So there's a wide variety of things you can do. There's also usually a day before, which is split between Community Leadership Summit and Inclusive and Inclusivity and Diversity Summit as well. It happens the day before. So when you submit a talk, if it fits in any of those, it'll also be they'll be looking at that as well for a possibility to be in those days as well. I can't make words today. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make words and they're not coming out. So
I think it's hard to get all the words right when you have a cold.
words are hard. They're hard anyway.
They are, yeah. Under normal
They're so
circumstances, I have
hard.
trouble with words.
Okay, it looks like we're at the end of the agenda that was on here. So we have a few minutes. We have 16 minutes left. What else do we need to talk about, or do we want to talk about? We have time. I'm looking at you, Sophia, because you always have those last minute thoughts that I love so much.
Yeah, we think we're done, and then Sophia's got a zinger for us.
Okay, nobody's speaking up. So happy to give you your 15 minutes back now. Yeah, thanks everybody for being here. I love you all. Sorry, the energy today is a little like,
You got, hey, you got to have
Next
it.
week
You got to
we'll-
keep it real.
I know, I'm keeping it real. I'm doing the best we can, right? All of us are.
That's right.
So
That's right.
have a good rest of your day, everybody.
Right.
Oh, welcome, Miracle. Glad you're here. It's your first meeting. We're happy to have you here. So, yay.
All right.
Have
Get
a
some
good one,
rest and
everybody.
soup, Elizabeth.
I'm gonna go eat soup. See you all later.
Bye.
Bye.